Tuesday.
Happy Toe Talk Tuesday. I'm so excited. We are talking toes. Um,
And I love the tool that I just want to like Marisa made this tool. It's so cute. Marisa is awesome.
oh, you're so sweet. Well, I'm gonna I'm actually going to, since you said that, um, we have two. We have two different images, two different
What?
versions of this tool.
So good. So good. Oh,
So,
Marissa, we're gonna do without you.
so let me open up um, a our second version. Our toe spinner. Let's go to the toe spinner.
Let's do it.
And oh, come
So Marissa and I have been working together for over a year now in Toe Reading Academy. And I'll just tell the story of our partnership. So we met like a long time before, but Marissa was always toe reading curious, and it was really, really fun. And then she went through the certification course that I had that year in 2023. This was the end of 2023. And when she turned in her final project, I went, whoosh, this
on.
girl's got to be partners with me. So I reached out
My type A
and
personality may have come out. My
it was,
overachieving
it
type A
was
personality. People
and it was
pleaser.
amazing. It was spectacular. And I really knew she got it so deeply. And yeah, so we're building history now.
Well, it is an absolute honor to be part of the Toe Reading Academy. And as we've talked about on other episodes, I was toe averse. So I was toe curious, but it definitely took a little bit of like dipping my toe in before I was like, okay, like I can imagine myself doing the certification and looking at other people's toes on purpose. And you held such beautiful space for me as I did that, and now I look at people's toes uh, for a living.
For a living.
For a
It's
living.
amazing.
Um, so let's dive in.
Oh my gosh, look at you go.
So around and around the
And I'll close my
toe.
eyes and I'll
Go.
just say stop.
We've got the left big toe, Christina.
Oh, yay!
Left big toe, everyone.
Left big toe. So the left foot is your internal self. It is you inside. It's you when nobody else is around. It's the way you interact with you. And then your left big toe is your spirit path toe. The big toes are our path toes. And its element is ether. It's your ether toe. So this idea of spirit path and how it shows up in the toes. So just for context, your right big toe is your life path. So the way that you're out in doing your thing in the world. And so this deep connection with self, the connection with the divine through your soul, uh like it's all those internal themes. It's your toe of intuition. And when you look at your big left toe, it can really indicate to you where are you in alignment with your soul as you are within yourself. self, in your connection, in your devotion, in your personal practices. It just, all of these things show up in that in that left big toe. And then next to the left big toe is the channel of intuition. The space between your first and second toe is the channel of intuition. And so you can actually increase your openness to your own intuition by gently opening up that toe, that space. And on the other side of that toe can be bunions, calluses, and other things that go deep, deep, deep into your experience in this life, that you've brought into this experience in this life. So the big toe is kind of a big deal.
The big toe is a big deal. And your left big toe is really, I think, I would say, I mean, I've shared this story before. I lost the nail on my big toe the weekend of my wedding. And I had dropped something on it. It took months for the toe to fall off, the toenail, not the toe, for the toenail to fall off. It took months, but it fell off right around my wedding. I think actually a couple of days before. And then during the first confinement that we had here in France in 2020, again, like I lost that toenail after my son was playing around. He was all into stomp. And so he took these PVC pipes and he was creating these like different sounds, and he like hit one on the ground and it flipped out of his hand and it landed right at the base of the nail. Yeah, it's painful. But that was the second time. So last time when we talked about the right little toe and you were saying you broke it 12 times. I've lost the nail on that toe, on the left big toe twice. And so it really, and both of those times were times where it was just a big transition. And the transition, it was like who am I being in relation to these other people? And am I being in alignment with who I want to be? Right. Getting married, like this huge transition. Am I giving up? Who am I giving up? Like giving up that individualism for the collective. What are the boundaries I need to set? I wish I had had toe reading as a modality, because I would have dealt with it a whole lot better than I think I did both times. But in reflecting back and sort of healing some of those wounds, it was like, oh, that's where I was out of alignment. And these are the things that I intuitively put into place in those times, or things that I wish I had put into place because I didn't listen to my inner intuition. I didn't listen to that inner voice. So, that question of like, not just where am I where am I in alignment or out of alignment with myself, with my connection to spirit, to the divine, but what do I need to do to fully be in my power, to fully be in connection with that connection? And yeah, I think if I had, if I could go back in time to either one of those moments, that's what I would have sat with. And I have spent a lot of time since then sitting, like I said, sitting with that to try and heal some of those, those beliefs that still sit in, that make that toe susceptible to being the one that gets hurt often by.
So good. And I love how you talked about where I am in my soul in connection with other people, because that's really what we are as humans, in connection with other people. We absolutely, and that's part of why we came in here is that connection with other people and staying in the oneness of the collective in the sovereignty of ourselves. And I that's such it's such a unique way of looking at it by looking at your toes. I rarely look at this toe in other people unless I'm doing a reading for them. And I think it's just it's honestly like um there's this intimacy about it actually with the energy that I can read from someone's toes. And so I almost feel like an energetic boundary that I'm like, that's unless you come to me for this particular reason for a toe reading or for some kind of spiritual or soul guidance, like it's none of my business. And that's just a choice I'm making. That is not something that I'm promoting. If it is helpful to look at other people's toes, but I know that it is helpful to look at your own left toe. And in this time of awakening where we have so many voices telling us what that looks like, what does awakening look like? What does spirituality look like? Knowing you, your path, your values, and aligning with your soul is what that toe is actually all about. It is not following a guru or a podcaster or a teacher or a shaman or any of those things. It is about being spiritually sovereign in the unity of the collective.
I love that. I would say, and this can be the homework for this week. I would say that when I look at this toe in readings and speaking exactly to what you were just saying, the question that I ask the most is, what do you dream of? And I, like we've talked about, I do a lot of work with children, teaching yoga, so they're barefoot, and it's a really fun question to ask them. To tell me about your dreams. And obviously they're going to say something different than adults. But I think that question, as you're massaging that toe, as you're sitting with that toe, as you're looking at the shape of that toe, and like you said, maybe trying to help create a bigger space in that channel of intuition by bringing that toe further away from the second toe, is like, what are your dreams and what are you doing to work towards them?
Oh, I love that. I'm writing that question down, actually. That's a great
not for
question.
nothing, Christina, but that's one of the questions you taught us in this certification.
Oh, my higher self was so awesome at one time to come in and tell me that. Okay, it's so thanks. Thanks.
These Toe Talk Tuesdays, and this is the beauty of it, of working in partnership too, right? Like we do reflect a lot. Like it's easy when you talk about intuition, we've talked about this on other calls. We do go so down into the like how we do it and what resonates with us. And that question of what are your dreams was a huge part of my 2023. And so when that question came up in our certification, it stuck to me. And it's one of the questions that I was like, oh, first toe, like left big toe. What are your dreams? And so it does speak to like that intuition. Like when we learn these things, we hear the things we need to hear in the moment.
I love that. And if I could just speak about the certification, like when it was time on that one. Like my toes, and I talked about that in another video, really let me know. And when I sat down to write that certification, which if anybody's written a certification, and by the way, my communication toes are even with my big toes. So like, I'm not here to like be this huge communicator. So it's a little bit stretchy for me to do this. And writing a certification for anybody who's ever done it, is it's a big project to share 20 almost 20 years of knowledge, study, readings, etc., into a certification. And it really it was a flow state, as it took me a few days to do, but it was like, that's what I was doing that week, was writing. And this is all before like AI. Okay, this is all before
You actually had to write it, all of it.
like I didn't get extra help. This is Christina's almost 20 years of experience, just like trying to come through. So anyway,
this is your connection to the divine. This is the channel,
that's what it was.
channel of intuition.
This is your
left big toe.
And my left big toe actually happens to be one of my healthiest toenails and toes of my entire foot. Isn't that interesting? And so this is just so fascinating. Every single time we talk about Toes on Toe Talk Tuesday, even though literally next year, 2026, will be my 20-year anniversary of toe reading, I still learn something new. And I love that so much, how this body of knowledge, this body of work is growing and growing and helping more and more people. It's such a blessing.
I love it. I love it. All right, so here's your homework. Here are the questions. So look, sit with that left big toe in this coming week, and really just notice, like, where are you feeling in alignment? Where are you feeling that that there are actions you need to take to express your power, to be fully in your power? And what do you dream of? And if you want to share that in the comments, we would love, love, love to hear your dreams, and how, because sometimes just having that accountability and saying it out loud and having somebody hold space really helps to put it into fruition. So share in the comments.
Use your words. Share it.
Share it.
Claim it.
Like and subscribe. And we'll see you in next week's Toe Talk Tuesday for another toe. Who knows which one?
Thanks, Marisa.
I love you, my friend.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.